Hey, how's it going everyone? Here with the latest S.H.Monsterarts release, and that is Godzilla 1972 from Godzilla Tai Gaigan. So yeah, this is a pretty simple, straightforward release, which is looking really cool and derpy, and I love that derpiness. So a little bit later in this video, we will compare with the 72 Gaigan, who is a stunning figure himself. But for now, let's just pop him out of the box and we can check out, well, the one accessory that he does come with. So open up the top, slide it out, and there we go. So one thing that is cool, unlike most Monster Arts, we do get an accessory with this, and that is the additional head, which is battle damaged, which is pretty cool. But besides that, we just have the main body and the head. So yeah, without further delay, let's get him on the turntable so we can check out that finish. So as Godzilla swings around, you can check out the awesome detailing. Just like most Monster Arts, we have crazy amounts of detailing, sculpting throughout his whole body, which gives us that amazing depth and detail. The base colours, the neutral grey, we have the claws with that nice kind of ivory colour, and then the spine has that shiny silver metallic-y looking paint job over top, which is cool. And one thing I noticed, or at least I found as soon as I took him out of the box, was, man, this is like a suit. It really has that feel, proportions, and it captures the essence of this release more than this suit version, which I thought was really cool. The head is really big, the teeth are looking nice. You've got the nice red and all the different colouring for the teeth as well, which is cool. The eyes have a nice black with a white pupil and the surrounding colour with a subtle shiny finish to it, so it does pick up the light beautifully and when on the right angle, and it will kind of pop, which is nice. I think one thing about this figure which really helps is, due to the proportions and the design of the suit, with a bigger head, with bigger eyes, we do get a bit more detail coming through than what we would on a lot of other releases, especially say the legendary ones or Monsterverse figures, which have smaller heads, right? So a bit hard to pick up the fine detailing on those, but on this one here, it's definitely coming through really well. So yeah, let's pop them off the turntable, and then we can check out the articulation, which I was actually quite surprised with. So yeah, let's jump straight into it. Starting with the head, rotation left and right is really nice. The lower points of articulation, I mean, yeah, that will move, but definitely is a lot more limited. But when you do combine it with all three sections, you get a decent range, but I would say that top joint is doing all the heavy lifting. But everything does feel really nice and smooth, and then same with the mouth, a really nice, simple to use jaw there, which opens up really wide and looks nice as well. Coming over to that shoulder joint, yeah, great range up and around. Due to it being essentially a circle, it moves really well, comes in and out with a great range too. And one thing that really surprised me or impressed me was the elbow joint on this. Normally that is one big con for me, is the elbow range is quite limited, but for this one here, man, it is improved, it works really well, and it feels nice as well, so super smooth. Get the twist on there as well. So definitely quite a bit more articulation than I was expecting, and compared to recent releases. Same with that wrist joint, we've got 2 points of motion there, and it feels really nice. And yeah, like I said, I'm really impressed with the upper articulation for this release so far. Coming into that torso area, we get a bit of motion left and right, not too much, back and forward a little bit there, mainly on that top joint. We've got 2 main points of articulation, but when going forward, it is that top joint that is doing the majority of the work. But it's a little bit stiff, but you can kind of play around, get a little bit looser. And main thing I want to point out, these join so well. It's actually almost hard to tell that there is a point of articulation there, due to the sculpting blending in so well. Now for the legs, again, these are really nice, decent range of motion going out, going up and around is pretty good. This is a bit more of a tighter oval, but going up is pretty good. Going back, not bad, you just have to angle it so it will swivel in and underneath. Definitely looks pretty clean and crisp, no giant lines there, and it feels really good to move. The knee itself is great as well, decent range of motion going back, going forward a bit more limited. It is basically a max extension there, but going back is really cool. And then same with the ankle, nice range of motion there. Everything feels super fluid and nice to play with. Now moving into my favourite part, the tail, and this one is super nice, feels so good. And one thing that's cool is the articulation goes all the way down to the tip, so multiple points of motion, and it feels super fluid and nice and easy to get a cool curve in the tail. So really fun to pose, actually really good articulation. This is probably shaping up to be one of my favourite S.H MonsterArts releases so far. So we've checked out the overall finish, articulation, and yeah, this guy is looking awesome. But as we mentioned, he does come with a battle damaged head, which is super easy to put on and off. Just have to get a nice grip of the neck, pop that head off, and then you can attach the new one like so. So we can get a bit of a closer look at that head. We've got like basically the blood running down the top of his head, which is awesome. Again, the mouth and the other sculpting articulation there's the same as the base head, and we just have the extra blood running down the top. Don't think there's any extra sculpting in there. It seems like it is just the same, but with the red paint. I think it looks like this could be slightly different. A little bit hard to tell, could just be the way the paint is picking up the highlights and shadows there to make it look like a different shape. But it's really cool that we do get the extra face to play around with this figure. So we've got the guy gun here as well, which I love this release with the gold and green. So it's nice that we get Godzilla to pair up. I hope we get one for head order next actually. I'd love to have the matching Godzilla for head order, because that release is awesome, definitely one of my favourites. But yeah, anyway, let's jump into the pros and cons for 1972 Godzilla here. I think just, it's a fantastic release. I feel like it is a must-have. The finish is looking nice, the articulation is great, definitely goes above and beyond my expectations. We get the base head, the bloody damaged head, which is great. Pair up, maybe Guy Guns just come down and slash on his face there. So the extra playability and combination that we can have between the two figures is great. The overall painting, I like the silver, it definitely pops. And yeah, overall I think it's just a really fun figure that looks really cool. I love the derpy look of some of those older suits, especially the 70s, some of the 60s, 70s ones. They have that slightly derpy look, which I really love. It has a lot of character to it. And then we can see the longer neck in this, because obviously that's be where the actor's looking out and so forth. So it definitely really comes together really well. But yeah, that is basically it from me. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this release. Did you pass? After seeing this, has it changed your mind? And who else do you want from Godzilla for the S.H MonsterArts line going forward? As I mentioned, I'd love to see the Godzilla to pair with head order. And that's probably one of my top wants, along with a re-release of the 74 Mechagodzilla. Don't have the original, I'd love to add that into the collection. So hopefully we get a re-release of that in the near future. So yeah, that is it for the video. Again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, cheers!